Hello ladies and gents, it's another video brought to you by Ants Hood, and today's video is going to be about my Solenopsis Geminata and getting a major upgrade as promised from last week's video. Oh, and wait until the end and you get to see Hood gets threatened. Now you'll have to wait to the end of that because it's not going to be the major part of this video, but I'm going to be very transparent and put all the conversation I had with this chap so you guys can make your judgment who the douchebag is, me or him. But anyway, you're here to see Ant, so let's crack on with the Ant thing. This is then from my last weekend's video, and this is the archive footage from it, so bear that in mind. I'll put a link in the top right corner now if you haven't already seen that. But as you can see from this, the outworld is absolutely jam-packed, rammed full of ants, and it means it is practically impossible for me to clean it because every time I try and get any bits out, I get covered in ants and they get all stingy and they're getting out as it is. So I really needed to extend a new outworld, and when you pan round just now to the nest, you'll see the nest is rammed as well. Now that might be partly why there's so many in the outworld, because there's just no space in this nest, so they desperately need an extension. Now this was what I was going to move them into, which is a Wakooshi hydration nest, something or other, I can't remember, but there'll be a link to Wakooshi's website down below, and don't forget you get a 10% discount if you use the discount code ANTSHOOD, so by all means check it out and get the stats for that nest there. Now, if you remember from my last video, I said that I'm waiting for the hydration in the main nest to go up where the thermostat is, and it did hit, I think, a peak of 80% after hydrating it all, but this took a while. So before you move your nest into this, you need to make sure that you can control your humidity properly and get it at the level that your ants require. Now, for Solenopsis, they like it quite humid, between 50 and 80 off the top of my head, so it's about bob on for these guys. Being classic Hood, I completely forgot to take any pictures of the outworld before I connected it, but you'll get to see it in a bit anyway. So, for the advantage of PJGrant, I decided to record myself while I was going to disconnect it so you could actually see what it's like, my facial expressions when I get stung. And I kid you not, I literally sat there like this for a little while, contemplating how I was going to attack this, because it was not going to be easy. It was not going to be a walk in the park, let's say. When I rewatched this footage, I thought my vocal reactions were quite funny, so I'm actually going to play the original audio. Now, please bear in mind, I am talking to people on my headset because I was part of Ant Hollifer's live chat last night, so if you hear me talking to anyone, I am talking to them. But anyway, I'll leave you to it. How I am getting stung bad. Ha. Ah, shizer. Oh, oh. Ah. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now, mate. I'm doing it now. So I hope PJGrant enjoyed hearing me call out in pain, because I am not kidding. One sting's not too bad. When you've got 50 of them running all over your hand stinging you, then it gets bad. Oh, and I also forgot to mention there was a major there that had clamped onto my skin, wouldn't let go for love nor money, and was just doing circles, stinging me repeatedly. So that was a lovely experience. Now I forgot to film it because I'm a donut, but I have connected the new outworld to it. This is the S5 outworld. I was wrong in my last video because I called the largest one on the right S5. That's wrong, it's the S6 outworld. But I will do a size comparison in a bit more towards the end of this video. What you will see me doing now, well, in a very short second, is me getting a tube to make sure it's long enough so it goes to where I'm planning to put the nests. And yet again, in true hood style, I even got that bit a little bit too short. But hey, I'm a donut, I can live with it. Look, there we go. Yes, it seems like the perfect size. It'll fit fine. No, it doesn't. Now, I've sped this up a little bit and not cut it out because I think it's interesting how we slowly see the workers, and it's not slowly, they do it quite quickly, to be honest, start going exploring the new outworld that I've been given them. But anyway, as you can see here, I'm about to connect the tube up. Now, it is completely unavoidable with a species this small and a species this busy in the tubes that you're going to kill a couple by accident, crushing them when you put the tube in. It is unavoidable, and I'm not sure if I filmed it, but later on with the ones that are trapped, that aren't dead, as it were, I do push the tubing inside to allow them to escape out and then police them up, but I don't think I recorded that. But that's what you can do. Unfortunately, deaths are unavoidable. Now, for some ungodly reason, I don't know why, I think the cotton wool was in the end of this, or I didn't put the cotton wool in the end of this tube. So when I actually pan down, which you're about to see in a second, you'll see the ants are going all over the place. Again, oh no, I'm doing that now because actually, yep, and I've dropped the cotton wool in there, and rather than dealing with that and getting it out because it's going to be a pain later, because I've got them crawling all over my hands, as you can see here, and stinging me like there's no tomorrow, I forget that I've dropped it in because I'm prioritising other stuff. And if you look down, there's more workers getting out, so clearly I've not connected the tubes up properly. I don't think I did, but you will see in a second that I clearly didn't connect it up properly. And yet again, when working with these, you've got to remember that you will be getting stung, so whatever you're doing, if it gets a bit too unbearable, you might try and brush the ants off and forget what you're doing. And as I pan down in a second, you'll see that's what clearly happened to me. I was distracted by the stingers and I wasn't paying attention to what was going down. In fact, you've seen that a bit earlier on in the film as well, when I was filming myself getting stung, because why would I do such a horrible thing? You may ask yourself why I'm not wearing latex gloves, and the answer to that question is I didn't have any with me, and I didn't prep that part. I prepped my ants and sat there contemplating how I was going to do it, but I didn't think of the basics of actually having some gloves with me. And this is why ants are crawling all over the place, because I didn't connect the tube up properly, and as you can see, they are everywhere again, and it does take me a while to police these up. And the way that I policed them up, believe it or not, was literally with a cotton bud and picked them up in 2s or 3s and then popped them into the outworld. The reason I'm doing that, because these things will clamp onto cotton wool when they're on it, and it is a pain to constantly keep flicking it out. I just find this a much more efficient method of doing it. You may find it different and do it another way. I don't use my keyboard hoover on them because they just stick to the, or clamp onto the filter of the keyboard hoover and make it difficult to get them off. It's not like for dollies where I hoover them up and I can just tap them out. These guys tend to clamp on and they get everywhere as well, and it's more hassle using the hoover, and it is actually just picking them up with a Q-tip. Q-tip, I did it again. What is my obsession with Q-tip? Cotton bud is the correct word. As it's still interesting to watch, I have sped this up so you guys can see how I do it and how many I've got going everywhere. Believe it or not, I think I policed most of these up last night when I was in my room talking to a small group of people and while just doing my anti stuff. And I've not seen any today. I've not seen many running around either. It's probably because they're distracted in the new outworld space they've got and the big new nest that I'm about to attach up in a second. But there was quite a few running around, as you can clearly see here as well. But let's look at connecting the nest together. But unfortunately, I did forget to film me connecting it up. But as you can see with the number of ants kicking around, it was relatively painless and they connected fairly easily without any issues. I've only got a couple of runners. But if you look down to where the tubing meets the nest, you'll just start, here we go, just start seeing the ants exploring the new nest. And what I did do is film this for like 16 minutes of them slowly going into the nest. But what I will do is speed that up so you can check it out. But first, this is what I mean about cotton wool in the outworld. If you drop it in, you need to get it out fairly quickly, because as you can see there in the top left corner in the new outworld, that they are swarming the cotton wool, and then trying to get them out of that later is more pain than it's worth. So if you can, get it out as soon as possible. Now I've sped it up, you'll actually get to see them moving into the nest fairly quickly. So just wait. I do take the red off, the red filter, so don't worry, here we go. And you actually see they start forming searching trails, foraging trails, actually in the nest as well, probably because it's a new space and it's quite big. There we go, I won't make you dizzy again, swearsies. And as you can see how they fill it, it's really interesting. Well, I find it interesting as well. Now, I will talk a bit more about this nest later on. Now, they've been in there for about 20, well, less than that, about 12 hours now. And you can see what they've already done to the nest, and they have done some significant modifications, shall we call it. But what I will do is shut up so you can watch this bit. If you want to fast forward, by all means fast forward it, but I do find this kind of behaviour really interesting. And of course, and in true Ant Canada style, I've obviously got to give them an offering because they're in the new Outworld. Now, believe it or not, when I put this jelly pot on, which you're about to see me do now, I did take the lid off, but it left the film on top, and I was like, don't! So I had to take it out again. That's what I'm doing there, by the way. But instantly, as soon as you put the food in, you can start seeing that trailing behaviour start. As you look at the below the cockroach, they've already formed a trail there. And what's really great, because it's a new Outworld and they're not all over the place, you can distinctly see the trail forming underneath the honey pot and going up to the cockroaches, which is, to me, I love this behaviour. I love the distinctive trails you get, and I find it really interesting. So I hope you guys like it too. But you need to see how quickly they recruit workers to the jelly as well. I don't know what flavour this is. It comes from Wakooshi jelly pots, and because they're obviously designed to fit the little hoopsie pots, but they do recruit them really quickly, and I'll show you some pictures of that in a second. I took this picture of their complete setup before I hit the sack last night, and as you can see, they've now got the new Outworld, the new nest. Now, what's nice about this, you kind of got the transition and the growth with the ants. You had that original MS 3.5 nest that I first put them in, and then when they got a bit big, I put them in the MS 5.5, as you can see there, and now they're in the Gen 3 gypsum acrylic nest, which has probably increased the real estate by 2/3 for nesting space for them. So it is quite a significant increase in space. And of course, I've added the MS, wrong, it's not an MS, the S5 Outworld, which, to be fair, I'll talk about the sizing now, because you'll be surprised how much similar in size to the MS6 it really is. In hindsight, I would have took a picture of them on top of each other, so you would have got a better comparison of size, but never mind. Now, lengthways, there's not a lot of different, believe it or not. The S6 is 40 centimetres long, where the S5 nest is only 38 centimetres long, so there's only 2 centimetre difference. That's not a lot. Now, depth is where there's a big difference, because on the 6, the depth is about, or width should I say, is about the 28 centimetres, where on the 5 it's only 20 centimetres. And in height they are exactly the same at, oh, I need to measure it again, 18.5 centimetres. So yeah, they're not a great deal of difference. I do really like the attachment so you can put feeding platforms on the back of the wall, because it actually gives some use to the height of it. I really like that on the 6 with the pillars, and I really like it on the 5 with the attachments that you put on the back wall. I think that's really cool. Cost wise, it's not bad and it's not brilliant. The S5 is around £65 or $64.95, I think it is, plus postage. Now, if you use my discount code, you're going to get 10% off, but that'll probably just cover your postage anyway. And you do have to assemble this yourself as well. Not that that's a bad thing, really. I just suck at it. Now, I was talking to Wakooshi about this because I was asking when they're going to be on his website for the benefit of you guys, and he told me that they're not retail versions yet, what I've got. He's not releasing them as of yet, but when he does, the S6 is likely going to be sub 90 quid, so likely be a bit cheaper, but he hasn't quite confirmed the costings yet to do that. The only reason I've got them is because Wakooshi does have a habit of, when I buy stuff, that he then sends me something else which is slightly bigger or better, like he has on this occasion. Because if you remember from my posts on Instagram, I didn't actually order the S5 Outworld at all. I did order the Nest, just not the Outworld. I ordered the S4, I think it was, and he sent me the S5, which I do appreciate, so thank you. The only thing I did notice, which was a bit of concern when I checked on it today, was the Solenopsis have excavated the gypsum already. As you can clearly see here, there's a massive pile of it. Now, if I click onto the video, as you can see now, they've been really busy, to be fair. There's nothing else to say about it. They're chipping into the gypsum. They're already making their own tunnels in there and stuff like that. They've absolutely wasted no time in doing this. Why? I've got no idea. They're just doing it. It's just their thing. I'm not overly concerned because I know that they do excavate into the gypsum, and as long as it still functions, I don't care. My only point of concern is that the left-hand side now is where you're going into hydration areas. Now, there is a fine mesh in those hydration areas, again, like there was in the MS 5.5 and 3.5, so they shouldn't get out, but it's still a little concern. Hello ladies and gents, it's Ant's Hood again. Now obviously I did allude to this in my video at the start, that there was a bit of like Hood gets threatened stuff. Now by all means take this as you will. Now this all stems from my video on Wednesday where I moved my Fidoli Noda into a rubbish outworld as a title. And it turned out that that outworld was a high-tech ants outworld, and there was warpage in it, which annoyed me. It didn't help the fact that I was tired from work and I just wanted to get my ants into the new outworld. Now, as you know from today's video, I do get escapees when I do that, but unfortunately I policed all those escapees up, and there wasn't many to be honest when I did disconnect them. But unfortunately when I went downstairs to get some scoff, I came back up and there was ants everywhere, and it frustrated me and it irritates me because the product was at fault again. So anyway, that was on Wednesday. I'll put a link in the top right corner now if I remember, or was it that side? I can't remember when it comes to doing selfie reversey thingies on your phone. But anyway, whichever side it's on, I'll put a link up there so you can see that video if you haven't already and know roughly what I'm talking about. Now, as always, you're going to get people that disagree with me, and I haven't got an issue with people that disagree with me. I love the art of debating. I love discussing things. I just think that when people start getting overly abusive, and I don't mean abusive in swearing in conversation, I can live with that. But when you start being name calling and being threatening, I think that's a bit out of order. Now, what I'm going to do at the end of this video is talk through what was actually said so you guys can make your own decisions. And I'm also obviously going to post it probably up on that side, probably that side. I'll post on up here so you guys can see exactly what I'm saying and what I'm reading. So this person, Charlie, he, as you'll see in the screenshots I'm going to take and put on as well, he actually, I asked him if he wanted me to redact his name, and then he just went off on a mad one again and said, do what I like. So Charlie, for your benefit, you did say you're going to get some more, you'll get more views and more likes. Then by all means, cool, get off it what you can, mate, at end of the day. So happy days for you. Anyway, I'm going to stop this now because I'm just going to get the pictures up, so bear with me. So this all started when I posted, obviously, that video, and I put it on the Facebook groups, and I put it on Ant and Antics, not Ant Antics, Ant and Antics, which is run by KB Ants and the Ant Lady. So obviously Charlie makes a comment which I do not have a problem with. I even like this comment because I agreed with it. Never had a problem with high-tech ants, yet with Wakooshi products, each their own really. I can't disagree with that because, yeah, you're right, each to their own. I ain't got a problem with that, matey. So then Wakooshi says, which issue did you have? We want to ensure no one else has the same problem. Okay, cool. Charlie then replies, Wakooshi, you sorted it out pretty quickly, mate. This wasn't a dig, by the way. We all have problems, and now we deal with them. And how we deal with them, sorry. You replaced my item after I told you, but to do a video before asking to slate someone, I think that's just unfair. Fair one. So I replied to this. Charlie, I raised the issue with the warped nest and he charged me to replace it when when it. Look, guys, English is not my strong point. I'm dyslexic. Cut me some slack on this, all right? Why would I get back to him again and have to pay again to fix the issue? When ordering, I do not use my Facebook name. That was what I was trying to get at. When I'm ordering, I don't use my Facebook name, so I don't get treated any differently from anyone else. Now, I generally don't. I use my real name when I order stuff, and this is partly because I don't want preferential treatment from retailers that I don't know well. Anyone that knows me well, obviously retailer-wise, knows what my real name is and know who to look out for. So, like I said, that's just me. Other retailers might be different, say company name, the YouTube name, to try and get some benefits out of it. Me, not really. That's just me, though. Then Charlie came back with, Hood, you ordered a t-shirt and washed it at the wrong temperature and it shrunk, then complain, whose fault is that? Really? You're gonna compare t-shirts now after I just explained the whole situation? Okay, cool. The way you came across that video makes you look like an arrogant piece of shite, bud. I've enjoyed some of your videos and it seems like you enjoy entertainment of being a nuisance and causing scenes. A Karen, basically. Which, if that's how you run your page, that's cool. A Karen. Okay, for a start, in my little defence here, I know he's not here to defend himself, but in fact, that's not fair. This is what he puts, and then you guys make your own judgment on how you view my channel and stuff like that. Anyway, he continues, I'm not attacking you, so don't think twice and try and attack me, because I ain't the person you want to start shit with. Trust me on that. Maybe try and resolve the problem before using your YouTube followers to make a situation look worse. So, from YouTube, it escalated to, he personally messaged me. I'm not even kidding. You can see these messages yourself, guys, and I'm just going to get them up now, so bear that in mind, and I'll pause the video just so I can take a snippet of where I'm at. So, like I said, Charlie decided to message me, so I responded. Now, should have I ignored him? Probably not, because that's not my style. I get people messaging me all the time, and sometimes they message me to say I'm pants, or they don't agree with me on stuff, and sometimes I do. Like I said, I do like a debate, but it should be kept civil. The art of debating has seriously gone amiss when it comes to society these days, especially with the art of social media, because it's just so easy when you can't get your point across or you can't articulate it properly that you might get frustrated. And then I tell you, this always happens because I deal with people on a level that most people would never would, and the kinds of people that most people wouldn't even want to meet if they ever did. Is that you will get generally this is the trend that people do on in society now, is that when they can't win an argument, they'll get abusive. When they can't get a result, an answer from being abusive or a result from being abusive, they then become threatening. And then when they become threatening, sometimes they do use violence, admittedly. But if that doesn't work, and then they don't use violence or they can't use violence for whatever reason, they generally self-harm themselves. So that's the kind of trend that I find from society these days. So I'm not saying this guy is going to follow that trend, but by all means, that's my personal opinion. You listen to me read it out and make your own opinions yet again. Mate, this is him messaging me directly for the first time, as you can see from the pictures that I'm putting up. Mate, you're an idiot. Love and moan about anything other than Wakooshi bought old kid. So basically, I think there he's saying that Wakooshi's got me in his back pocket, which, no, I pay for my stuff from Wakooshi. Other YouTubers don't, as obviously Alex admitted in his live stream when I said, well, I pay for my stuff, I can make my own opinion. Alex was then like, Alex Holler for this was like, I don't. So make you what you wish of that one. Washed it in hot water and moaned it took shape, or I think it means it warped. Then put a tiny species in it and moaned when they escaped. But can't front a message to HTA, which is high-tech ants, about to resolve the issue. It adds off of how pathetic you are. Now, obviously, I write back, but I'll tell you what I actually meant rather than what it actually types out here, just so you guys know what I was trying to say more than anything else. Think what you like is what I meant to put, but I thought think keg at you like. Don't ask me why. I mean, autocorrect, probably because I was typing fast. I didn't wash it in hot water. I explained on my post to you, which obviously I can't retrieve now because it's been deleted off of the comments on the Facebook group, so I can't look at the comments that I made, but I did explain it to that to him before he messaged me. Two other YouTubers I know have had warping issues too, and I just assumed they had larger outworlds and not the small one that I had, because it would be a bit more supported with it being small. But that's not the worst part of it. This is me speaking again. It's he knows full well that this shite warps. He pleaded with another YouTuber not to make a video on the issue. Then Charlie comes forward and says, I have 4 setups of his. Not one has warped under heat cables. All have been washed in warm water. And not one problem. That's not one problem. It is because it's not Wakooshi, ? Now, this is where the conversation gets a bit, because I'm typing and he's typing more, and the responses get a bit jiggled, but I'll read it verbatim and then you can decipher it when you go back and pause and read it yourself. Because I'm continuing from my original point, has he fixed the design of the outworld? No, he hasn't. I looked on the website last night and it's the same design. He even came up with some bullshit post on his website about warping, which isn't true, and charges people with the fix. Yeah, it's on his website, to be fair. I could show you, if I remember, I'll put the link on his website where it's at, but he clearly states that it's perfectly normal for a critic to warp. Not if it's properly supported, it won't. But anyway, he's replied, why not message someone before trying to fully slate a product? Or is that how YouTubers gain a work? I think gain of views or whatever it means. I don't quite know there. I said that is pants, clickbait ? From Charlie. And I said, and I complain about Wakooshi products too. I'm no more in bed with him being Wakooshi and I am with any other retailer. I pay for my stuff, so give honest opinions on it. I didn't message, this is now referring to High Tech Ants. I didn't message him about it because I've done that before. And he's replying to a message saying, I didn't message him about that because I've done that before. No, not really an excuse. Well, we all pay for our products. Now, of course, we all pay for our products, and you might not think that's an excuse, but if I've already been burnt once, why the hell would I go back and get burnt twice? You know, it's like literally putting your hand in the fire, but obviously with money this time. I've not told anyone else about the other YouTubers and their issues, as it's not my place. Now, the YouTuber I'm referring to about the warpage, I spoke to them recently, and they were quite happy with me to just carry on with this, so I'm not treading on their toes at all, just so you know, guys. Then Charlie puts back, we don't sit there and slate it over YouTube for views before trying to resolve. And I said, if I wanted the views from it, I would have put the product name on the title, which I didn't. I put total, I corrected it with title. And he's replying to the message, I've not told anyone else about other YouTubers or their issues, it's not my place. And it says, it's not your place to slate products from a single person working hard to make the best they can do. Then an ant user comes on and slates it in front of their followers. Yeah, it is, mate. My money, my opinion. You might not like that opinion, and that is perfectly up to you to not like that opinion. Is it your place to then come forward and then start trolling me, start whinging at me like you are? I would argue, no, not really. I mean, you might say, I don't like your opinion. I think it's rubbish. That's cool. That's your opinion. You're entitled to that. But then to be as aggressive as you are here, I don't think so on. But that's like my opinion. Obviously, this is very transparent, so everyone's seeing what we're talking about here. So they can make their own opinions on it. And by all means, guys, once you've made your opinion of reading all this and listening to me read it, put a link in the description below. Not a link in the description below. What am I talking about? Put a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this as well. So anyway, so I continue. I generally didn't see the need to contact him after my experience with issues before. And when I did contact him and others who had spoken to me about his outworlds, before when I did, I don't know what I was trying to make out there anyway. When I know the end result, what's the point when I know the end result? Basically, why would I contact him if I know he's going to charge me to fix it, is essentially what I'm saying there. Just like people slate of my videos and me, do you mean? That makes you a rat. You can't be bothered to complain, so you want to moan like for the views. And I say, like you are now, not debating, which I love a good debate, by the way. You started by calling me an idiot, pathetic, and then a Karen, oh, and a rat too. Yeah, I have. And what about it, mate? I ain't sewing. I ain't saying this for high-tech ants. I'm doing this because you're an arrogant. Your arrogance me off in the community. Your point is I'm a bad person for calling someone out with video evidence when he is trying to make a living from faulty products. My point is to you, the public, my point is you're in the public eye and people will point out bad things or their opinions. I don't have an issue with people calling me out, much like you are now. So I see no issue in calling others out. Regarding the community and my arrogance, please point out other than this video where I have pissed you off. I mean, if you're going to say I'm an arrogant person, you can't just judge it on one video. That's arrogance is a set behaviour. We all make slightly arrogant comments from time to time. Like, you know, I think my daughter's beautiful, for example. I don't have kids, of course, but just as an example. Well, that's a bit arrogant because you think your daughter's beautiful. Well, I think that girl over there is more prettier than what yours is. You know, it's a matter of perspective. Now, if you're constantly arrogant, currently down the line about everything that's going on, I understand where you're coming from, but please give me examples. That was what I was asking for. He just gave laughing face, laughing face, laughing place. And I said, please, I've never claimed to be an expert. I only give evidence. Sorry, I'll start again. So as I did the smiley faces, I continue to say, please, I have never claimed to be an expert. I only give advice on what I have done and never preach to anyone. In fact, I have never even spoken to you before today. Right, I ain't no Facebook bad man keyboard warrior. Well, I would say that the whole thing that you're doing now is a bit of a bad man keyboard warrior thing there, mate. I mean, that's just my opinion. Or YouTube cameraman like yourself. Send me your location. I'm free this weekend. Really? You really? Because that's an explicit threat, to be fair. You could argue it's an implicit threat, but either way, it's a threat. So I'm taking that as a threat, to be fair. Send me your location or shut up. If I see shit online about me, I'll find you, trust me, bud. Well, that is an explicit threat. You've just threatened me to come find me. Now, by all means, dude, knock yourself out. But anyway, I won't. Yeah. Oh dear. So I put, oh, now you're threatening me. Oh, please do. And that's like, find me. I'm after a chat. I don't threaten. I tell the truth. Laughing face. Well, clearly you've just realised who you've spoken to. That, oh, actually, he's a YouTube content creator. He has got an audience, no matter how big or small. And I am totally going to put this video up, obviously. So I do say that. You know I'm going to do a video on this. He said, you can, son, laughing face. So if we meet, please tell me what you'll do. Now, I've gone into troll mode myself now. I do this a lot on Facebook. I love... to be fair, if people start doing threats and all that malarkeys, then I just kind of like wind them up a little bit more. And I do attempt to do it here with him. I admit that is me. I am doing that. So bad hood on that one. But he doesn't bite, to be fair. So I say, I said, so if we meet, please tell me what you'll do. Well, what you claim to do. Stroke your cute face and tell how pretty you are. Oh, thank you. You. So I put, ha, I'm free for a beer. Let's go where you want a beer. I said, I'm sure you're going to Ancon. I will see you there. Oh, I am. Defo be going now. Nice. Look forward to it. Snap. See you at Ancon, bud. Only if you promise to stroke my cute face. Just tag me in your account content and I need the views like you. Ha. You will see it on Facebook groups. Good, thanks, lad. So I put, sorry. I'm getting a bit more trolly here. Because I went back to the Facebook group. I can't get that picture now because it's been taken, the picture of that because it's been taken back. So I just put, sorry, I had to have a little dig on the Facebook group. He said, you just replied to a comment. Stop inboxing me now. I said, again, you inboxed me. So fast forward to yesterday lunch. I said, do you want me to retract your name from the conversation? So he put smiley face, okay sign. Is that yes or no? Still trying. We do W.E. you feel you need for views. Do whatever you feel you need for views. Okay. I'm more concerned with you, to be honest. This is actually me being a decent person rather than being an asshole. He said, I'm more concerned with you, to be honest. I'm happy to retract your name to be a good sport. I'll just post it openly. And our whole conversation will be viewed for others to judge. Just trying to be fair to you, bro. You can't ask fairer than that, to be honest. I don't think that I would get the same in return. So he replies to this, don't need to be concerned for me, mate. I'm not here for people to be my friend. I don't need to be accepted by everybody or look good. I do my own thing. Now, how quick you are to jump on the video or whatever you're trying to do for some likes, it's actually pathetic, mate. Put my name down. Put my name. Don't put my name. Put my Insta page. Whatever, you'll probably gain me a few followers, so it really doesn't matter. What I'm going to do, and you'll probably smile at this to add to your video, I'm going to block you. Main reason, because you're annoying and in the real world running £500,000 job and not making silly videos for my friends to like. Have a good day. You've got your own YouTube channel, mate. So you're not making videos for your friends. But you've got your YouTube channel. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was the whole conversation. Now, if he didn't start getting threatening and all that malarkeys, I generally would not have bothered posting it, because it is a daily occurrence. People do get whingy. People don't share the same opinions. But as I said yesterday on Ant Hollifer's live stream when I was talking to him, there is an ever-increasing undertone within the anting community of lynch mobs, of freaking gangs and stuff like that, where if you say anything about the other gang, then they start kicking off and they do stuff like this. This is not the first time I've been lynched by people, and I'm sure as hell it won't be the last time I've been lynched by people. This kind of behaviour is not indicative to our anting community. The majority of the anting community is very friendly. There is always people willing to offer advice. And if I wasn't a YouTuber, I'd probably just laugh at this and just roll over and not give a flying toot. But I am part of the community. I am a content creator on Facebook, and I do what I do, as you well know. But regardless of that, these lynch mobs people need to stop. People are allowed a different opinion. They're allowed to have different opinions from you about products, about politics, about what's your favourite colour. It is an individual's perspective, an individual's point of view. Now, it is between the content creator and the retailer if there's going to be any issues about what's been said. It's got nothing to do with people viewing. You're entitled to your opinion. You can say, yes, I don't agree with that. Yes, I think that's pants. But what you've done actually is try to fight a corner, which wasn't your corner to fight, to be honest. Leave an opinion. Tell me you think I'm an idiot. Tell me you think I'm arrogant. But, well, that's it today then, guys. That's my everything I have to say on that matter. I'm not going to talk about it again. I think that everyone's entitled to their opinions about things, such if you don't like products or if you think I'm a douche. That is your opinion. But what I do draw a line off, and I will call out every time somebody's threatening to me or anybody else, because that behaviour is completely uncalled for. So think about what you say when you say it. There's nothing wrong with debating. Put your argument across. If the other person agrees with you, then you've won the debate. If they don't agree with you and you go to what they believe, then they've won the debate. And if you can't come to an agreement in the middle, then you both just walk away with your own opinions. That is the art of debating. It doesn't need to get abusive. It doesn't need to get threatening. It is debating, and it is an art that is definitely getting lost in today's community. But anyway, that's it for today then, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye for now.